Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host of L2 Productions, and you are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Chasing Atlanta. This is Season 7, Episode 6. I appreciate you all for coming. Please like this video. You can also subscribe, and you can leave your comments below. Let's get into this week's episode. Okay, so we're cranking up, y'all. After a week of a break, now we're back. We start off with Q. Q, he has Sukihana. Sukihana, I know from Zeus. I think she's on Baddies, but I don't know what all she has done. I think she's also a rapper too, I think. But I've only seen stuff online as far as different interviews and all that, but I do know that she's on the Zeus network. Anyways, Sukihana is a friend of Q, but also a client. First started out as a client, but now a friend, and they've been friends for about 4 years. So he's brought her in to style her and to show her different dresses of what she could possibly wear to whatever she's got going on. You can see that there is a genuine type of friendship going on. I think, you know how you get people on these shows and you might just know them, you might have some pull to get them on, but don't really know them like that. You just kind of like acquaintances, social scene and all that. Like, well, I know you, but you don't really have any type of closeness. I don't know how close Q and Sukihana are, but I don't think that it's just plainly surface. But anyways, they're trying on gowns for her to wear wherever she's going. We don't know. I like the white one. The gold one I liked. Those were the two I liked. But anyways, Q just expressed on, look, he's making it happen. I'm paraphrasing. For his life, and he's chasing, and I'm glad that he shows this. He's been able to show multi-dimensional parts of himself, not just his chasing, which is cool if you do it, but we get to actually know you. You let us in on something quite personal. I think we're in episode 3 or 2, or 3 or 4. You let us in, you snap right back, and you make your presence known, and it's not in an annoying way or in an invasive way. Like, you let people know I'm here, I belong here, and you can't keep me out. Not that anyone's pushing you out, but your presence is felt, and you make yourself known, and you also include yourself around the circle that you're with. So, hats off to you. Keep chasing, sir. All right. So there is a short little snippet of Nova. She's gonna go get her lips done. She's plumping up, and the only thing I really want to talk about is that she says that, she's in the middle of transitioning. I don't know trans women like that, so hearing her speak a little bit about even in the transitioning part of it, you're doing things to kind of just disconnect from the boy/man of you. So she does little things to help her, even, and the thing that she's doing is getting lip filler. She wants to look like the Claremont twin lips. I don't suggest that to anyone. She did it, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Please don't do that. But I just wanted to bring that out. Nova, it's episode 6. What are you chasing? And I think I'm being very fair to you. Even in all these episodes. I could really go in on you. And there's just ways I'm still not going to go in on you, as probably other people do. Because I know that they are going to use low-hanging fruit to come at you. But a lot of people keep defending you. Now, you did release your book, and your book was having something to do with a transgender, and it's for children. I've seen the book cover, and I don't know. Maybe you'll explain it a little bit more. I'm trying not to judge it, but just like, and it's 2 things I really want to knock, because, okay, it looks like a picture of you, but in animation. But do children really grasp that? I mean, you haven't even transitioned as of yet, and now you're telling a story, I guess, on transitioning. You changed your name, you got the wigs and stuff, but I guess your complete transmission has not taken place. So I was like, and then the shade of you. Interesting. So, anyways, her book is out. It's on promotion. And y'all tell me what it's like. Tell me about it. But how can you afford these procedures? Where do you get your money from? Now, we already got the tea on it, but I want you to say something. Where do you get your money from? I'll leave it there because I'm sure in the coming weeks I'm going to have stuff to say about you. Okay, so we move on to Tramel. He goes and visits Sammy. They catch up. Tramel brings wine. Obviously, he knows something about having a gift in your hand. He's got respectability, ways of showing, hey, thank you for inviting me over. He's been trained right. They get into some things in regards to the group, specifically with Ken. Of course, Tramel and, well, there's other people too, but at least Tramel and Carl were invited. Ken had some event right after his birthday, a 4th of July situation. And I guess Carl and Tramel was there. Carl brought up, it's nice to be invited somewhere. And then things just went left. Tramel could tell that he was very annoyed by Carl bringing that stuff up. Tramel seen that he was pissed off, and he ended up going away, or whatever. Pissed man, all that stuff. So Tramel wanted to make it clear, look, I don't have no problems with you not inviting me and all that. Now Ken is upset at both of them. He's accusing Tramel of talking ish behind his back. And just paraphrasing what he's talking about, I did no such thing. I have no problem with it. So she's ratting off on this chat and all this stuff. And at that point, him, because they couldn't really come to resolve, he ended up going back to the chasing chat that Atlanta's in and said, don't invite Tramel or Carl. Don't invite me to anything with Tramel. What was it? Don't invite me to anything that Carl and Tramel got going on because they don't like me. And Tramel said, when did I say that? Tramel in his confessional said, well, it's really sounding very narcissistic. And you're trying to do things to manipulate the whole situation. Tramel read off the text. You can go back to the episode. As far as we know, unless Tramel's a liar and a manipulator, he didn't say those type of things. Tramel was just that type of person to just say, look, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't kiss ass. So whether you want to hang with me or not, I'm going to be cool. And possibly because Carl didn't kiss his ass is why he all of a sudden is going off and now. But this is how I feel. And I'll probably get into it a little bit more later on because there's a confrontation about this whole situation. It feels like there's secret conversations outside of the main chat. And it's already been decided that they don't like Carl and Tramel and they need to get off of chasing because chasing is not the brand for them. And they had to find a way to at least start the initiation of getting them off their show. That's how I feel. Of course, that whole elite type thing that was going on, at least Dominique said that he was shocked when Nova said that in the episode because that's not something that we said. Do I think that there's other conversations about who deserves to be here on Chasing and who doesn't? Yeah. I mean, if you're upset that a cisgendered woman is on the show, I'm sure you have opinions of others because you already don't like certain people. But for some reason, y'all grouped them together, Carl and Tramel, and now both of them are in trouble. Both of them are in the doghouse, and that's where they're at. I think Ken was the one to step up to the plate and said, this is my opportunity, I'm going to go for gold. But we'll get into more of that a little bit later on. Next scene, Noel. Noel goes and visits some of his friends. I guess one of his friends went on to Pop the Balloon show. Nothing against the friend. I just don't like that show. It's full of clownery. And I just feel like it's an open season for people to now really drag people for no reason. Who was just coming to see if there was potential to have a date or a romance or something. They're trying to meet someone. It's too much. And when they say that they're giving them the hard truth, it's really bad. It's really bad. But anyways, Noel, I guess, was asked, well, how come you haven't done it? He said that he's been asked like twice, but he doesn't want to. And because he has a lot more femme traits, He doesn't want to go on there. He's seen how the other ones have been treated. And he's just not going to put himself in that situation because there's a lot of masculine men that are on there that are just going to treat him a certain way. I understand. And I think that this is great. And there's no way that this is not some type of alignment, divine alignment for this talking point as to what's going on in the community. There's a lot of divisiveness, biasness, bigotry in the queer community. And as much as y'all are running away and why can't the straights leave us alone? Well, you got it right amongst the camp doing the same thing. Whether your preference is a feminine presenting person or femme, gay, or Noel can be versatile, as we've seen him before. Do I think that he's more comfortable with the femme side of him? Yeah, it does seem that way. But I think he can lean either way, or he's multifaceted in that area, you know. But I think that it's wrong that y'all are exclusive. And then y'all say, well, why don't just the femme gays go be with the other femme gays? Well, they don't want to. They're attracted to men, you know. But E.J. Johnson, Magic Johnson's a child. I forgot how he identifies, so I don't want to say what's up. We just had this conversation with Mr. Carlos King on Reality with the King. Go to YouTube, look up Mr. Carlos King, and he's on there. EJ is on there expressing, you know, I don't feel welcomed within the queer community, not for real. There's just certain spaces that he doesn't go to, as far as the gay bars and all of that, because a lot of the gay men that are in there don't want him. He said he attracts and is attracted to straight men, and some people are like, well, you know, he's just gay. You know, he's bisexual. Well, whomever he entertains doesn't identify as that, whether we know the truth or not. But they are at least attracted to possibly his feminine energy and want to date him. And there's just so many ignorant folks that just cannot accept the truth and how divisive this community is. And I want to say, why are y'all so mad at the straights for how they treat us? Especially if you're going to act the same way towards your own brothers and sisters and your own these and days. So I think that was a great topic of interest that should be explored, and actually to deal with stuff, acknowledging and also taking accountability. But there's too many stuck on themselves and stuck in pride and just think that everything's all right. Especially if you really got the aesthetics of what people want in a man. As a gay man, you don't care. It don't affect you. How privileged you are. That's gay privilege or queer privilege. Next, Ken. He's in the studio. He's right now rebranding. He hasn't had a single or album, I forgot which one, for about 2.5 years. And now he's ready to start recording and release some new music. I think he's under new management, or at least he's under a rebrand. And he invites Sammy over and all that. They talk a little bit. They talk about Althea. I don't think they talked about the whole Tramel thing. Althea, they're reacting to Althea because Althea has been claiming that really none of the group is supporting her. And Sammy's like, well, that's not true. I was the one that was bear hugging you to not go over there and do what you need to do to Nova during that pajama party. Ken, I think he was outside, but he said, I texted the next day. I don't know if he said he got a response or not, but anyways, he obviously knows how Althea feels. And they're trying to figure out, okay, so what do we got to do in the future? Because are these folks going to be able to be around each other, or not invite this person this time and then invite them, At this point, they're all trying to support both people. Althea feels totally wronged because I didn't ask for that, and I didn't do nothing to this girl to do what she did to me. And I can get that. But I have not heard one person tell Nova as of yet that she's wrong. This is episode 6. Next, Sammy's performance. It was some closet place. 7 Deep is there. Now, I heard that 7 Deep was on Chasing Dallas. I didn't watch Chasing Dallas then, but I know him from Twitter. So I knew about his music there, so that's how I recognize him. But I saw him on on the program. Sammy does his thing. He's improved so much, and really, I think that all he needed was those backup dancers, as some of the other commentators did talk about. I loved it. It was fire, and you just did a great job. Perfection. It was perfect, sir. So I'm interested in what you got going on, just to let you know, as far as your music career, and I support you in that way. I do have a question for you, though, Sammy, because I forgot to say this during your time talking with Jamel. Did you tell Jamel about you stirring the pot with Noel against him? Because you're the one that brought back to Noel that there's an alleged diss track about him that Jamel did at the listening party. I mean, you said he was your friend, so I'm like, okay. So afterwards, here comes the big confrontation. But leading up to it, of course, we're talking about his birthday season. It was Jamel's birthday that night. And I think Carl is coming up too, I think. Anyways, Carl said, hey, Ken, hey, what was it? I'm thinking about Bro Atlanta, season 6, at the pajama party, where Kenya came to the door. Hey, Nene, you look nice. You don't. Remember that? Oh, it was kind of giving that energy in a way. So Carl wanted to confront him about this whole not inviting folks to stuff. Ken does say, look, later on, I don't really know you. And I was comfortable around these people because they've invited me places and we've started to gain a rapport. Cool. But I don't think that you liked him in the first place. Actually, you haven't liked him since Carl came in the door. Now, this basically, Jamel is guilty by association. First, y'all was talking about splitting them up at your birthday party. But now, I guess the plan changed and like, just get them both out of here. Anyways, Carl wanted to talk about it, but Ken all of a sudden grouped, again, Jamel and Carl together and started calling them itches and hoes and all that stuff. And Jamel was like, who you talking to? Then Ken was like, look, I caught that shade that you was throwing. You act like you want to be a friend in front of my face, but then you throwing all this shade behind my back. Does it have to do with Jamel showing the text to Sammy? Did Sammy go back to you and say something? But you were already saying that in that text. So you're getting all emotional and loud and all that. They dirty and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Jamel walks off with Tony. And in his confession, he's like, everybody trying to come around me to calm me down. I'm like, no, he's the one that's really acting wild. I'm really cool, calm, and collected. But you're just not going to. No, you're not going to call me an itch and a hoe. For what? What'd I do? Carl is the one that wants to confront you. It's still all Carl. So why am I in this? He feels like this person is crazy. He does, and this is what I'm talking about. This whole, he's going for gold because now Ken wants to find a way to get them out the group. And he's running with his narrative, and he's talking about, can I break the fourth wall? Can I break the fourth wall? Well, he breaks it, and he just says the same thing that he said in the text, that he's throwing rocks and hiding his hand. Jamel, at least. That's how you break the fourth wall? No. You lay it all out on the table. And that's why at this point, I don't believe you, Ken. Just like y'all started, to me, y'all was making up stuff about Jamel to Noel. I feel like y'all were making that up about the diss track. Jamel already said, no, that has nothing to do with Noel. That was done before I got on Chasing. This has nothing to do with Noel. He said it on the Chasing panel. Shout out to them. But yeah, I feel like you're making this all up. And it would seem like you really have a valid point against them. However, you don't, because you're not proving anything. You should have said, Jamel, you did this in a text. You did that in a text. You did this. You said this. You're not bringing forth receipts. Jamel got receipts. Keep them receipts, Jamel. That's what's up. So we ain't getting nowhere. Q was trying to calm the situation, but he was also kind of like, how can I say this? Like, look, it's quite divided up in here. And I don't know if I want you to come to my birthday party. And he wasn't just talking to one person, he was talking to the whole group. He's like, if you're going to be doing all this, I don't want you there, da-da-da-da-da. In his confessional, he's like, look, I got my family there and all that, and we're not having all that happen. Understood. And he was just trying to come to some type of common ground between everyone. Carl's still kind of just going off because he wants to be heard, and it looks like he's being shut down. So I think he was caught up in the moment, and to me, you were rude to Q. And Q got like, look, I'm not going to keep getting interrupted. Because Carl was like, no, I'm going to ask my questions. We got questions. I don't care where we're at, basically. But no, I think you were rude, and he was just trying to come to a place where we could just like calm down and whatnot. But no, there's some strategies going on. I told you I wasn't liking what was happening. There's a divide and it don't even make sense. Carl ain't even done nothing, but you already have said, I don't like him, and I don't want him in the group, and take his friend with him. I ain't crazy. And I think I said earlier, I think that there are secret chats that are happening. And there's a lot of strategy going on and plots being constructed. So Q ends up going. Just saying, whatever. I'm gone. Q's birthday party. It starts at 6. Tony arrives at 6 to be on time. Others started coming and all that good stuff. And Q's a no-show as of yet. An hour goes by. 2 hours go by. Tony was like, look, I'm done. And she's going off like, look, you gotta respect people's time, da-da-da-da-da. I'm here to show up and support and all that, but this is way too late. I understand about being fashionably late, and I think Q, if you do this on a regular, cool. If you want to have your Lauryn Hill, do it. However, at least prepare the vote. They don't know you like that. So you know that they have to be constrained for filming. But Tony said, look, I had enough, and left. Then Dominique left. His Uber pulled up, and at the same time, Q shows up. It's 9 o'clock. And Dominique said, look, I'm still gone. I don't blame him. Nova left too. Nova, Althea was there, but she didn't speak to Nova. And of course, that didn't faze Nova at all. So Q has this celebration. We see Sukihana and all that, and he's having a great time. Dressed well. I love the outfit. Althea says happy birthday, all that good stuff. He had a good time. Cool. Yeah. But that was the end of the episode. I enjoyed myself, you know. But yeah, there is something going on over there in Kinland. Although we ain't hearing it from Dominique. Maybe he's neutral, but I don't think so because of how Dominique will. I mean, he's the first rock thrower in Hide the Hand that I saw this season since episode 1 or episode 2, whichever one. So, hey. But I know that is your friend and you're not going to call him out. Anyways, that's all I got. Tell me your thoughts. What are your opinions about this whole situation? I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please be sure to like. You can comment, share, subscribe so you can stay notified on what's happening on this channel. And until the next one, peace.